Hello guys, we're back with another YouTube video and we're going to be checking out a origin of the Siren head or something like that. Let's check it out. I'm kind of scared. Loading. So if you guys are not a fan of blood or anything like that, I'd click out of this video for scary stuff.
Decided to come back today, of all days. Any foggy day is fair game, but today, if it was smart enough to keep track of time, I'd say it was mocking me. It would have been easy to stay home that day, maybe do something useful. Help pond the fields, or hang the washing up to dry like Ma asked. But the sun was so warm and inviting. A perfect summer day like that couldn't be wasted. But even then, there's a million other things a kid could have done in the farm bathed in sunshine. Plenty of places.
I'm getting bored watching this.
Of course, they told us to stay out of the woods, but I always sneaked out, and they never stopped me. I thought Ma was paranoid. Who ever heard of people disappearing in those woods? That's the kind of stuff you hear in children's books. Pa gave that indifferent, listen to your mother nod whenever Ma brought it up. Probably too busy to care what she was lecturing me about. Despite it all, I figured this is real life, not some fairy tale. There's nothing but critters and mischief out there. What really sent me into the woods that day was naivete, bravery, and a girl named Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
About it all these years, I can't quite put my finger on the moment things went wrong. Maybe I just wasn't alert or observant enough. Milo sure was, though. Good old boy. His walk got more and more tense, and he started growling. He always did that when meeting new people, so it was easy to dismiss. By that time, we were getting pretty deep into the woods, and I expected her to pop out from behind a tree at any second. She was definitely nearby, but I couldn't find her. And then she started calling my name, asking me to find her.
It's like really dark in my room, so it's scaring me.
Her voice was muffled, staticky, or maybe she was just further away from the spot where we said we'd meet. She wasn't as familiar with the woods as I was, so I started to worry that she'd gotten lost, even though she didn't sound scared.
Right.
I arrived at the meeting spot, an old stump that kind of looked like it had a face carved into it. The woods were darker, the trees much
Jesus on my side.
and more dense, and there seemed to be fewer creatures around. It was quiet. No bird calls or squirrels scurrying up and down the tree trunks.
That tree trunk has a face.
I called to her a few times, but she just kept calling for me to come.
The dog.
Milo was still on edge, and I was starting to feel tense too. That could have been when things went wrong. After a few minutes, I was worried that she had hurt herself and needed my help, so I went off in the direction of her voice, deeper.
No, why would you do that? What's that?
I called to her over and over, getting more concerned with every passing minute. The tree trunks were immense, and I can't say that the tales of people disappearing at the hands of a forest-dwelling monster didn't cross my mind. In my head, I was preparing a speech to recite for Caroline when I found her. Something about sending me on a wild goose chase through the woods and making me worry about her. She sounded like she was nearby, but something about her voice was freaking me out. I thought about turning back and calling it quits.
Hold on.
But I felt like I was getting close.
Is that better?
Then Milo
that's creepier though.
Barking the loudest I'd ever heard,
I hate that.
and darted back and forth around me. I panicked and backed up too quickly, tripping over a root and falling. A sharp pain shot up my leg. From the forest floor, I looked up at the canopy, and my jaw dropped. Standing at least 40 feet tall was the nastiest combination of man and machine I'd ever seen. Its arms and legs were so thin, I could see the
dog's face,
veins and bones beneath the skin. There wasn't a bit of flesh on its torso either. It looked like a vacuum-sealed skeleton.
No ad!
We hear a lot about cursed films around horror productions. Crazy things that happen on the set of The Exorcist, or The Omen, or Poltergeist.
I'm just gonna skip it.
But the creepiest part was its head, or lack of a head. Atop its neck
This is giving me
were a pair of
chills.
sirens facing in opposite directions. No eyes or ears, but it did have mouths inside those sirens.
Oh,
And as
siren
I looked
head.
up at it, completely in shock, it turned down towards me and opened its mouths. I scrambled to my feet.
Yeah, run.
Milo bolted by my side, just as afraid as I was.
Oh, I would be
Deafening
scared
sounds
too.
of trees cracking around me, their enormous trunks splintering and crashing to the ground. That's when the siren started blaring from the creature's head. My muscles burned and my lungs screamed.
Is that,
for air as I burst
Caroline?
through the clearing of our east field. Ma was standing by the truck on the far
Oh, it
side,
was his mom.
her mouth open in disbelief. I'm sure she could have felt the ground shaking from a mile away. Pa was already running towards me with a shotgun, but as he
Pa
saw
or
the
Mom?
car that came behind me, he stopped dead in his tracks. Eyes wide, he pointed to the entrance to the
his
tornado
mom and
shelter
Pa are
built
there.
under the house. I didn't think that was going to be enough to keep us safe from this
Dude, this is so
My
scary.
body was giving out. The pain in my leg from falling in the woods was growing with every stride. I put everything I had into that last stretch of
Why
my
is this
sprint
so
to the shelter.
skinny?
Milo managed to keep pace, and Pa ran ahead to unbolt the door. Ma broke out of a trance and scrambled towards the shelter too.
He seems kind of happy. He's like,
Sirens blared on.
and then the dog's like,
Ironically, there was no tornado. The door flew open and Pa dove inside. Milo leaped in ahead of me, and I stumbled in a few seconds later.
hurry, drive.
It took a few beats for me to realize Ma hadn't come stumbling through the door behind me. She was running as quickly as she
No,
could manage.
it picked up its
Wild
mom,
eyes
his
staring
mom.
right into mine, screaming the whole way. But the thing was faster than her. Its final step toward her shook the ground so intensely,
No.
I thought the house was going to come down on top of us. She was knocked off her feet, and its massive hand came down on top of her. I looked away.
No!
I'd never seen such helplessness and pain on his face. Ma cried out my name as it lifted her up, then turned to walk back towards the woods.
That
We couldn't do
sucks.
anything but watch.
And that's him now.
Milo, come on. We got an old score to settle. There hasn't been a day in my life I haven't thought about that morning. Thought about that thing. How it ruined our family. Ruined our lives. I've mourned Ma every day, and never even knew what happened to her. How she might have died. Whether it tortured her or not. Or if it just kept her prisoner somewhere. I lost Pa that day too. He blamed me for the whole mess. Started drinking, and eventually left.
Wow, that sucks.
All
It wasn't
these
his fault.
years, It's been just you and me, Milo. And now we're going to finish this.
Chop him
Wherever
down.
you've been all these years,
I see him.
I'm sure you've only hurt people, taken others who were loved, torn families apart. I bet nobody's tried hunting you the way you hunt people, though. And I bet I'm one of the only ones who ever got away from you. You know what that means? I know you. And I've got nothing left to lose. I hope you're ready to meet your maker, Siren Head.
Jackson, come.
You took my mother. You took Caroline. How many other voices have you stolen, freak?
Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Chop him down like a tree! They both went down. No! The dog, the dog. Dog, do something! No, dog, 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 do something!
Milo. Come, Milo.
Oh!
Thank you all for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed our original story on the origin of Siren Head. Next week, we'll have our first ever Patreon pick, voted on by all these wonderful people here on screen. If you want a chance to vote on what SCPs we cover in future episodes, check out the Patreon page linked in the description below. And we want to give a special thanks to Failcake, Chuko, Matthew, Kian, Rio, Martin, Blake, Michael, Pumpkin Pyromaniac, and That Saxophone Guy for being our top Patreon backers this week. Also, if you want to get your hands on some sweet SCP merch, including our brand new Tickle Monster mugs, check out our store at newskapepro.com. See you all next week.